Hey, I'm Anderson Cowan. I'm just some guy that talks about other people's movies. Usually I smoke a pipe, but I don't want to
Where's the pipe?
I don't want to do that to
Why?
you, Greg.
I wanted some of the
you're
smoke.
asthmatic.
Okay.
It's not true. You're not asthmatic, are you? No.
No, I'm not, but I would have liked some pipe
Greg's
smoke.
one of these guys. He's my partner on CinemAddicts, my co-host, and like he could... Pipe smoke could make him like really nauseous for like the rest of the day, and he would not say anything. He'd be like, "No, it's fine." He's that kind of guy.
I'm neurotic. Thank you very much for that. Exposing me.
That doesn't make you neurotic. A neurotic person would say, "Absolutely not." Yes. Not important. That's not what we're talking about. Yes. We're talking about the Lost City of D, or otherwise known as Lost City. Yes. Even though it comes, I guess the book is called The Lost City of D.
Yeah, but it's a romance. It's a romance novel. As a fan of romance novels yourself, you appreciated the Lost City.
I recognized all the Daniel Steele references and was quite smitten with them. Yes, this is a rom-com, a big budgeted rom-com starring one Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum. And I don't have to tell you, they've spent more money on the marketing of this movie than they actually spent on the movie. It was shot in the Dominican Republic. That's like almost a character into itself. Greg.
Yeah, and you probably guys already know that Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter, is the bad guy, the big bad meanie in this one.
I mean, he doesn't think of himself as a bad guy. He just wants what he wants.
Big mogul, a lot of money. You want some kind of, he's looking for some artifact somewhere in a lava-filled island, and he kidnaps Sandra Bullock, the romance novelist, to actually help him find those treasures.
Yes.
So
Greg and I saw this at a press screening, so that's why he was kind enough to join me, as he did last week for the outfit. Don't worry, I will be co-hosting with my pipe probably next week, and I will be screwing up names and kind of just doing a lot of going, I do a lot of thinking on my own.
Oh, you do little pensive stuff on your reviews?
I do a lot of this, a lot of that. I feel like I can lean on you. So talk to me more. Talk to us more about The Lost City.
The Lost City, throughout the entire movie. I remember when I was a kid, I loved this film. Of course, many people know this.
You saw this when you were a kid?
No, why?
How in the world did you do that?
Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile movies, I really enjoyed.
I thought of that a number of times while watching this one. I'm like, that's not fair. You got to get that out of your head because they're completely different movies.
They're completely different movies.
No, they're not, though. They're trying to be the same movie, and I feel like that's a point. Strike against it, Greg, because how long has it been? 30 years since Romancing the Stone?
At least 30 years.
You think they'd be able to make a better version?
Well, it's hard to top Romancing the Stone. But The Lost City
30 years.
Yeah, The Lost City for me, romantic comedy adventure. I love the adventure part. Brad Pitt's in this for a spell, and he's very good in some of the action sequences. So I actually like the action adventure part of The Lost City more than the comedy. I would still recommend it as far as just escapist fare, on a weekend when it opens March 25th.
How do you escape, though, Greg?
Escape is fair.
Do you escape?
You turn your brain off for about a couple of hours.
Do you escape when you read a book, too?
I do. I like to escape. You like to immerse.
You don't turn your brain off, though.
I just turn my brain off in general.
No, you don't, because you're a movie. You're a critic, so you're constantly thinking, like, what's this about? And I should probably talk about that if I want to actually do it justice. And...
Well, listeners and viewers who've seen my reviews know that I turn my brain off with quality.
Is it off now?
It's off right now, but that's why The Lost City, worth a recommend. I think innocuous.
Is this recording?
I think it's recording. It's recording right now. You see? Yeah. Trust yourself more. Just like you should trust your own review of The Lost City, which I think you highly recommend this movie, correct?
No, I don't highly recommend it. But like any movie, I'm exhausted by the end of a lot of movies because it's not an escapist fare. I wonder what people like you, when you say it's an escapist fare, like, do you put yourself in the movie? Like you're one of the characters?
No, I escape myself. I feel good. I feel good. It's like a nice.
You feel good? Like do you walk out of a James Bond movie feeling like taller?
No. I always know that I'm a 4'5" Asian man. So
a little taller than that.
A little bit, 4'7". No, but I enjoy The Lost City for what it was. And again, some of the jokes didn't land for me. The chemistry with Tatum and Bullock, not exactly 100% fair. Like it's not Gable and Lombard, but they're still good actors and they still work well.
They're going to go Bogart and Hepburn.
Bogart and
African Queen.
Catherine Hepburn. Yeah. I was thinking you were thinking Bogart and Hepburn from Sabrina, but Sabrina.
I have not seen Sabrina.
Very good movie.
I have not seen the Han Solo Sabrina nor the original Sabrina.
Very good. But The Lost City for me.
Very good. Just boiling down a man's entire career to one character. That's not very nice.
But
Harry Potter's in this. Did we tell you?
Yes, Daniel Radcliffe. I wish there was a little bit more of him. He's fine in this movie, but I wish there was a little bit more villainy from Daniel Radcliffe's character. But overall, I think
there's some missed opportunities. This is directed by a brother team. Not the Coen brothers.
The Yees, right? Y-E,
yeah.
brothers. Yeah, Aaron.
I thought it was Knees.
Knees. Oh, yeah, Knees, yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron.
They directed a film that we covered on CinemAddicts years ago called Band of Robbers.
Band of Robbers,
which this one liked more than this one did.
Stylistic, fun, quirky.
It was cute. It was safe. It didn't take a whole lot of chances. This one doesn't take chances that it's not supposed to take chances. It's a giant studio film, RomCom. They're trying, they're going for dates and they're going for something safe. That being said, I haven't even talked about this at all. The first act of this movie, the first 30, 40 minutes of this movie, I'm thinking, I really am enjoying myself. And you can attest to that. You heard me laughing quite a bit. I was laughing when no one else was laughing.
You laughed at I'm not an inopportune, just
inappropriate?
No, not an inappropriate. It just came out of left field laugh, and I go, oh yeah, you're right, Anderson. That is a very funny moment, and it was just quick. It was very clever.
A lot of quick little funny throwaway lines, as Greg said. However, as this movie goes on, it devolves and becomes dumber and dumber. And some of the chemistry, actually, instead of getting emboldened and strengthening, I felt like it was starting to wear off. They were asking too much of the audience for us to care about these two characters and be worried about them. Yeah. And it kind of lost me. I don't know. It was weird seeing a movie with somebody because usually I watch them by myself. But you probably caught me looking at my watch a couple times.
No, I didn't. I was escaping into the movie. Escapisphere.
I'm watching the movie. I'm like, all right, where they put the light? They couldn't have got a better read on that. Obviously, that's just like they're letting Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock just run their line and have some fun, and they're just taking whatever they came up with. That's not written line. Like, I'm thinking about all these things which were happening in the movie. Like there's all sorts of scenes where it's just Channing Tatum, who's very likable.
Here's my Rotten Tomatoes quote. I was lost in the goodness of Lost City. How's that? I'm not a Rotten Tomatoes critic, but I would say I was lost in the goodness.
Why do you continue to advertise the fact that you're not something I'm not. When you are a Critics' Choice?
Thank you so much.
I just spit. I was so pumped up to pump your tires there, Greg.
Yeah, thank you for the saliva.
Why do you chirp yourself all the time? Constantly chirping himself over here. I mean, there's enough people that chirp you. This is going to be on the internet. You think people are going to chirp you for you? Are you trying to beat them to the punch?
Thank you so much for the support. 3.5 stars for me, The Lost City. What about you, Anderson? 5
I hate to say it, but yeah, for a romantic comedy, for what this movie was, they weren't thinking of me when they made this movie. It's 3.5. It's better than it has to be. It's just, unfortunately, it devolves into absurdity. Like, we didn't even talk about the parchment paper.
Parchment papers.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb, and they didn't have fun with the dumbness. Instead of just saying, we realize how dumb this is, and we're going to make it even dumber, and almost make it like a parody of a movie, she is kidnapped by Radcliffe, by Harry Potter. I literally forgot Harry Potter's name, and I had to go. I was trying to. She's kidnapped by this man and all of his millions, perhaps billions of dollars, and given every cheese in the world to try and get her to come on her own.
She loves cheese.
Yeah. And then she doesn't, so he takes her in some kind of hovercraft, and risks his life and risks being locked up because he's literally kidnapping this quasi-celebrity woman, writer, author, so that she can. So she can translate a piece of parchment paper that he has
at least that Lost City
is supposed to lead to the Lost City and this the Ring of Fire, these jewels. Yes. Couldn't he just say, "Can you look at this for a while and try and tell me what it is"? Why did he have to have her at the island? It's absurd.
That's a good point.
Why did he have to have the parchment paper? And why did she have to steal it? There's 4 symbols on it. She couldn't remember it or just write it down?
I will say this. I will digress for a second. And this is not a spoiler. She is a widow. Her husband was an archaeologist. So maybe Radcliffe's character is thinking that she gets some of the DNA from her late husband. Maybe she's as knowledgeable as he is.
That's not how DNA works.
I mean, the knowledge. Maybe he infused some of that knowledge into her with his archaeology background.
All that said, great. Okay, hey, you know Spanish? These are 4 words that I can't figure out because I don't speak Spanish.
True.
Oh, you haven't done Spanish in a while? So, Greg, your Spanish a little rusty? Okay, just write down those words and let me know what you think. And he gave her like maybe a night to think about it, and he's like, oh, okay, now you're going to come with me and try and think about it while I'm at the site. That's absurd.
That is a plot point.
That's the entire movie is based around that. Come up with a better reason to get her over there. And then they got the ticking time bomb with the volcano that's about to go off at any minute. And it's like, okay, so we know where this movie's going to end now with the lava flowing out, right? There weren't a whole lot of surprise. A lot of absurd, like jungle chases and motorcycles that just zip right by them. They've been looking for
slugs. There are slugs in the movie. Different kinds of slugs. Was that
an homage, a direct homage to Stand By Me? Because it was just like Stand By Me, but not nearly as funny. Right?
Oh yeah, I thought that was cute. It was cute. There's some bodice ripping off of. There's some bodies and rest in motion. There's some good stuff.
There is some good stuff. It's a 3.5 star
3.5
movie.
stars.
But hey, if this wasn't marketed as a rom-com and it wasn't made by a studio and like it wasn't supposed to be it's hard. How do you do that?
Brad Pitt's very good in this movie, by the way.
Brad
right?
Pitt. This movie needed more Brad Pitt. The Brad Pitt scenes sung. Like I loved it. I really liked it. And then once they part ways, without giving anything away, like the movie like relies on just the two of them. And I love Tatum and I love Sandra Bullock, but it was not enough to keep me engaged in that theater.
One thing, if you spend the money and on March 25th and you go that weekend, and if you actually go see The Lost City, big piece of advice: stay for the end credits.
Don't take off right away. You don't have to stay till the bitter end. I don't think. I don't know. We didn't, but there's a tiny little.
There's a thing.
I was hoping that thing that happened.
I like that thing. It was a nice thing.
I kept hoping that numerous times throughout the movie, and without giving anything away, I was going like, the only way this movie gets saved for me is if that thing that happens in the end credits happened in like the end of Act 2 or something.
That'd be an interesting thing.
It would have been nice.
Yeah.
You'd think maybe if they spent less of the budget on marketing and maybe more on the movie, they could have made that thing happen. Yeah. Not on being cryptic and hopefully not giving anything away, but that would have saved the movie for me.
Well, tell us what you think of The Lost City once you see it. Comment below. Yeah, 3.5 stars for both of us.
I have shame about this now that I think more.
Check us out on CinemAddicts, our CinemAddicts podcast.
I have a lot of shame.
And Anderson's also on TFV, the Film Vault, with Bald Brian. And
after
Disaster, I mean, stuff with a lot of stuff. Groupers. He directed Groupers as well.
Hey, I'm gearing up for the next one. All right, we'll talk about that. All right, we'll talk to you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.